It's been a minute since we talked. I want to know what has been the biggest change since 2.5 years ago when we first talked on the podcast.
Well, I watched the old podcast back just to. It was honestly really interesting seeing where I was then and where I'm at now. And the biggest change just recently happened. I exited the fitness industry and went into pharmaceutical compounding. So yeah, it's about a week out from being a month that I've been done with fitness. It kind of happened out of nowhere. I knew that the close was coming for fitness. I was in the process for the fire department, ended up not working out. And I was talking to my boy Brady, one of my, childhood best friends, and he really loved the job he was doing. And I was like, I need something different. I wouldn't say I just got burnt out on fitness. It was one of those things for me. I'd been coaching for 5 years and in the fitness industry for 10. And it was just one of those things that no retirement, no benefits, no PTO. If you're not at work, you're not getting paid. And it was just a really challenging realm to live in. And I didn't really realize it until the reflection of afterwards came, and it was like, I understood my job, and I am well aware that it's a job that is cushy and looks easy on the outside, but the internal things that you go through as a fitness coach is one-on-one training on this realm more than group fitness, but like you're bearing the burden of everyone else's problems. I felt like more of a psychologist at points than I did a fitness coach. And I was okay with that. I was okay to be that person for them for what they needed me for. But I still wasn't getting the fitness portion of it that I needed. And then on the group fitness side, you're the energy, you're the knowledge, you're everything for 30 people in a room. And by the end of it, I'm coaching 20 classes a week. Fitness became my sole earner. So I wasn't always making the money. Class gets canceled, I get sick, whatever, and I'm not making money. I have no second income to fall back on, and finances became hard. And so that reflects, that everyone's big thing with work in general is, well, you leave your life's problems at the door. And it's like, well, that's really hard when I don't know how I'm going to pay for rent. I'm going to have to go scrape change to buy something at the gas station just so I have something to eat. Like, that shows. And especially with someone like me, like, there's one thing I'm not good at, and that's faking it. I am 100% transparent to a fault. And that energy just kept kind of bleeding over into work and everything like that. So I applied for this job. I'm working with a lot of like hormone replacement drugs, so testosterone and clomiphene, progesterone, all kinds of stuff like that. Working kind of hand in hand with pharmacists and chemists, and it's really interesting. Like, it's something that's kind of sparked new pursuit of knowledge, and then it's also been really tough because I haven't worked a 40-hour work week in 5 years. So it's like adjusting to that 9 to 5. It's been rough. It's definitely been rough, but it's been good.
What's been the hardest part about the transition?
So, you get used to like a leisure lifestyle. You say you open, you're there at 4:30, you're done at 8. You got from 8 until the end of the day to do whatever you want. I'd go train. I'd go take a nap. I'd go play video games. I'd go, hang out with a friend, like whatever. But instead now being kind of locked into that 9 to 5 where you can't just go train when you want, or and it makes training hard too, because it's like, oh well, I missed the morning session, well I'll just go to the evening session. And then you also have, well, I've been at work for 8 hours, I stand all day, I'm moving around all day. The one thing with this job is attention to detail, so my mind, I'm locked in for 8 hours a day. Mm-hmm. And by the time I get off, I'm exhausted. And there's for people like us, there's always that like David Goggins mindset, like I don't care, like push through. And it's
carry
like
the boats.
It's not like that always. Like pushing through is, so what? I go and just go through the motions of a workout, and like I have to train at a specific, me being who I am, the way my body responds is training at a certain intensity. If I can't hit that intensity, I get nothing out of it. So I'm like, I can't just show up, for me. It sounds hypocritical of me to say, because one of my biggest things while being an Orange Theory coach was always just show up, I'll take care of the rest. Mm-hmm. But I was that energy for everybody else. I don't have someone giving me that energy. So it's like, it's this weird place that, and I've been getting up and lifting before work 3 days a week. But even then, it's still just like, it's just different. It's a whole new realm. I'm used to training at 11, 10:30, 11 a.m., right when I'm feeling fresh. I've woke up at 8. I've had a couple hours to chill, get myself together, get a coffee, and then go to work. Now it's like I got to be at work by 9, which is still, comparative to 4:30, it's late in the day, but it's like, it's just so different, and adjusting to having to be somewhere for 8 hours and having to be, you're dealing with people's medicine here. You're dealing with, one person needs a 30 gauge needle, the other needs a 31, and the packaging looks the exact same except the 0 and the 1. So you're looking directly, scan it, making sure everything's exactly what it needs to be. And granted, we have multiple lines of verification for these things, but I'm the first line of it. And the last thing you want are these pharmacists like, dude, come on. Especially being new, like you don't want to be that guy.
Right. Gosh.
Yeah. So it's certainly been different, but I like it. There's a lot of room for opportunity. There's a lot of room for growth. There's a lot of money to be made. And even when I'd moved to Louisville for a little bit and I was head coaching out there.
I remember that.
And, for one of the first things they asked me, they were like, so what motivates you? I said, money. Can I pay the bills? I don't have somebody I can call to say, I'm a little short on rent this month. Can you throw me a bone? Like it's all on me. So it's like the company I work for now, I told them the same thing. They're like, well, it's a company that's growing exponentially in an area that is growing so much as well. Just today I probably filled 300 orders of semaglutide, and we ship to 46 different states. So I'm seeing hundreds of orders a day, and that's just what I'm doing. I got 6 other people on the same line filling those as well. So we're pushing out $2,000 a day semaglutide orders.
God.
Yeah. So it's and it's cool too. You get to work with a team that, like, we hit a goal, more money.
There are incentives.
There's incentives. There's bonuses. They want the company really puts a focus on employee happiness is going to get the most out of them. So even when the task is tedious, you're still willing to kind of push through it to not only help yourself, but you're helping the 6 other people as well. You know, I got a single mom on my line. I got my best friend's dad. I got people I care about working around me, and that $1,000 can mean a lot to them too, because it's $1,000 incentive if we hit.
The daily goal or the
It's
weekly, monthly?
It's a monthly goal. So we hit this monthly goal, it's $1,000 incentive. And so I'm like, even if I'm not doing it for me, I look across, I see my girl, and she's a single mom. She got a 10-year-old playing volleyball. She's trying to make it. Like, that $1,000 can mean she might get to take an extra day off to go watch her kid play volleyball, or get her kid to, you know, go do something, you know, whatever. So it's like, you really end up, it plays into that, you know, as coaches, a lot of it we're not doing for us, we're doing for the greater good of others. And so I still get to kind of scratch that itch, even if it's a little more indirectly.
Now, I'm going to veer off a little bit, going back to like the leaving part, because I'm really interested in the specific job you do, but I also want to know personally, within the 10 years of being in fitness and then 5 of coaching, when did you know that that point of leaving was coming, or was it quick and then you pulled the trigger like that?
It was not quick. It was not quick, and being totally transparent, like, I didn't want to leave. So it's kind of, I mean, it's a long story, but it's, so I moved to Louisville, was head coaching out there, and being where I was, you're kind of textbook middle management. So I had my coaches under me, and then I had people above me as well. So I'm textbook, just like in the middle. I got these people like, we don't like this, and I got these people that are, well, we really need to be pushing this. And I'm like, I'm going to side with the people that are directly under me, because if I keep pushing it on them, they're not going to like me. They don't like me. There's no sort of hierarchy. My position becomes useless. So I have to tend to the people who report direct, or there is no leadership. I'm just a messenger. And so I met a guy in Louisville. His name's Christian Smith, and he was a Louisville firefighter. And he actually passed away last year.
I'm sorry.
And great guy. And I was talking to him, and he was like, "Man, you've got the makings of someone who would be a great firefighter." I never thought about firefighting, and he put that in my head, and I was like, okay. So it was kind of in the works, and then stuff went down in Louisville. I came back home, but I still kind of held on to that firefighter. So I knew when I came back, my original thing was, I'm going to coach. I came back November 7th, 2023 was my first day back on the schedule. And I came back with the intention of only being there till like March. That was what I said from the beginning.
Did you let them know that as well?
Yeah. I was like, this is very, very
temporary.
And some things happened, and it was like, okay, well, it's probably going to be at least another 6 months, and then at least another 6. Then I look up, and it's been almost 2 years since I said 6 months, and I was like, how long am I going to keep pushing off moving on?
Kicking the can
You
down
know,
the road.
it's like, I won't say it's like being in a toxic relationship. I love Orange Theory. It wasn't that. But it's like that ex-girlfriend you kind of keep going back to, and you're like, we can work on it. Because like in my head, that first 6 months, I had already made it that 6 months was going to be it. And then it kind of kept getting pushed back. And then finally, I finally got, because like then I finally applied for the fire department, started the process, was 7 months into it when they told me I wasn't moving on to the next phase. And then I was like, okay, that didn't work. That's fine. I have to be proactive here. I can't just sulk because I didn't get what I wanted. So I hit up my boy Brady. I applied, and then the day I applied, they called me and set up an interview. So I let Orange Theory know, like, take this as my tentative 2 weeks, because they called pretty fast, which lets me know one thing, and that's they want me on the team.
You put your 2 weeks in the day you got the interview?
Yeah. Tentative. Because I didn't know. I was like, but just know this is happening. Did my interview. They sent me my offer letter 2 hours after the interview, and I set my start date 2 weeks from there. So I started August 18th. My last day at Orange Theory was August 17th.
No interim period. You just straight to the next.
Yep.
I like it.
Went straight to work. And I especially knew, like, I knew I was done once I didn't get the fire department, because that was like my X on the calendar was like, fire department, I'm gonna go at it until January, because that's when the academy would have started. And so once that happened, it was just like I knew it was time to move on. I was like, I was scared, I was terrified when it's all I've known. My college degree is in it. I'm really good at it,
Yeah, you are.
And it's like, how am I going to step away from something that I am so good at, that I do truly love, and go into a realm and into a workplace where I know nothing. I'm starting from square one. I don't know any of these people. They don't know me. And I'm the type of person, you either like me or you don't. I'm very black and white. There's not many people who are like, he's all right. They're like, I love that guy, or he's not my cup of tea. And I'm fine with both. I'm also very self-aware. So it's like, I get it if you don't. It's okay. I don't get mad at you if you don't like me. But it's like, how do I leave this thing that I know so well? I can go in and be a coach. And that was the other thing. It got to the point where it was like, it was so... It felt like Groundhog Day. It felt like the same day every day. And part of it was on me. I stopped pursuing new techniques. I stopped pursuing more knowledge in the realm, because I was so just burnt out on it. Like, and there's so much information you can get from here and here. And then it's up to me to decipher what's real and what's not. And then the fitness realm in general is, you can have some guy who's on every bit of sauce, 6-pack abs, looks great, benches 315 for reps, and he puts on his Instagram story, DM me for a challenge, and they're making $300 off of 30 people for a 30-day challenge. They've sent the same workout to 30 people, and I'm over here like begging for a crumb of that, not knowing how I'm going to pay bills, stressed out. And when we're in such an information age, you're also dealing with people who don't believe me over this person. And, it's tough, because it's like, I would tell people things and they're like, well, this person said this. I'm like, so if this person said what I just told you, would you believe them? So are you buying into the information, or are you buying into the person that's saying it? And that got frustrating for me as well. And it was just a bunch of little things that just kind of compiled, and it made me resent something that I once loved. And it's the same exact thing that happened with MMA. Last time we talked, I had retired. I was done. Last year, I got back on the wagon. I was doing it again. And something that I loved that was my outlet became a job. I felt like I was doing it for everybody else. I ended up hating it. Stopped training for 2 months. Now, I train, but I'm not like training to fight or anything. And, I fought for a title last year and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like the constant voice in the back of my head, like, do you love doing this? Or are you doing it because you think you're fulfilling everyone else's image of you? And it became so overwhelming. I was like, I need to step away. So I stepped away for like 2 months. I knew I wasn't like done, but I was done training for fights for the time being. And from like December to February, I didn't train at all. And my coach finally texted me. He was like, "All right, dude, it's time to get back in here." So I deal really like, I'm kind of a all or nothing kind of person, which is why I'm struggling so bad with like all of this change, because I can't be all in on training. So I'm like,
You're saying really the high highs, really low lows?
yeah. So it's like emotionally, I'm either ready to conquer the world or I just nothing. It's like numbness almost. And so, within the next month or so, it's more of a financial thing, less than my non-commitment to wanting to get on TRT.
Long term?
Yeah, that's the one thing that everybody's, hurrahing about it. Well, I don't want to be on it for the rest of my life. Like, why? Why does it matter? If I feel great and I don't wake up in the morning, I'm like, today doesn't matter. Like, if I can get rid of those days, or at least make it 1 out of 20 instead of 15 out of 20 days I wake up, why? I don't care about being on it.
It's your life, not someone else's.
Right. And that's there's a stigma around it, Oh, he's on TRT. That's why he looks good now. Okay. I'm not looking good for you.
Right.
So it's like, if it comes down to it and it is a lifelong thing, like, fine, it doesn't bother me at all. But it's just like, I have to do something to get right here, because here has been the biggest demon for me the past year and a half. Unmotivated, unfulfilled, unsatisfied, just nothing. There's been nothing that's gotten me to be like, it's time to open it up and get after it. It's always like, let's go. I can only describe it as like when Bruce Banner wants the Hulk to come out in Avengers Endgame, and he like pops out a little bit, and he's like, nah. that's where I've been stuck. I can't go Hulk mode. And there's sure, part of it's the mindset of it all anyways, like trying to find something to blame for the way I feel other than just putting in the work and understanding like there's ebbs and flows to life in general. But to me, when you look at it and it's hormonally, the one thing that I can't physically just do something to change, that's where I'm like, okay, I need the exogenous help to make me feel something again. It's like, it's just been this whirlwind of like feeling just nothing. I'm not excited about anything. I'm not happy to like.
It's just like a flat line.
It's just like a flat line, man.
There's no ups. There's no downs. It's just flat line.
There's some ups,
but they're not as drastic or dramatic as they once were, and they're not as drastic as dramatic as you want them to be either. So it's like you're you figured out data-wise, this is where you are. And based off your actions in the past couple 6 months, 1 year, year and a half, if you don't want that past year and a half, then you know you need to change something.
Right.
And you've taken the steps to change it so that you can have a better next year and a half.
Right.
And you can look at the data, how you feel next, and then adjust from there. And if you're making progress, adjust.
Exactly.
If you're not, adjust.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's like I'm making these adjustments. You know, the new job, it's been exciting. You know, I don't want to sit here and act like I've just been like sitting in a dark room staring at a wall, you know. It's been exciting. It's been something new. It's been change. But at the same time, I'm still in my head. I'm just like, is this still like what I want to do? Like, I don't know, maybe. So it's like, it's this like commitment factor of like how much do I really want to commit to anything? And it's like, usually I'm both feet on the floor running through the door. Now I'm creeping through the threshold, and the data shows. And that's the other part of the stigma is a lot of people look at those numbers, something's wrong with me. No, nothing's wrong. I've lived a wild life. I've been a combat athlete for 17, 18 years. This noggin's taking some lumps, you know? When that pituitary stops pumping, it's not my fault. I did it. You know, I'm not mad at anyone for it, but I'm at the point now where it's like, you know, everyone's like, well, maybe when I'm 45, 50, I'll get on TRT. I'm like, why am I going to spend 15 to 20 years of my life fighting off something that I can fix now? And like, that's a microcosm of everything else in life. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to be miserable at work for 20 years, but when I'm 50, I'm going to retire and it's going to be great. I don't even know that if I get on this hormone replacement, that I am going to feel better. So why not find out now instead of looking way down the road, and then when the day comes that I started and it's 20 years from now, I'm like, oh, well, this thing that I look forward to for 20 years still isn't working. Like, that's how I live my life now, is like, I mean, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to show up and I'm going to work hard. And, you know, we were talking about being there for your team and stuff earlier. But, like, I'm not going to sit here and waste my life away waiting for 50 years old to the day I retire, 55, whatever, you know, until the day I retire to live my life. Because the last thing, something I think about a lot is, what are my thoughts going to be when I'm on my deathbed? When it's my time, what am I going to look back and remember? Am I going to sit there and remember the 20 years that I wasted wishing for retirement? Or am I going to remember the trip that I probably couldn't afford that I went on anyways? The laughs that I had on that trip, even though my bank account didn't reflect that I should have gone on that trip. And, you know, you got Dave Ramsey's like, you need to pay off every single ounce of debt before you even go get an ice cream. I'm like, dude, no.
No, yeah.
And I'm no financial advisor, so don't take my financial advice. Do the opposite. But I'm just saying, like, there's the word moderation comes up a lot, and balance, and, you know, those buzzwords of how to live life. And then, man, it's a wicked world we live in. You truly never know when it's going to be it. And, you know, with what's happened today, it's a scary world we live in. And I refuse to live my life scared. But there's a lot of wicked and evil in the world, and I'm never going to bow to that, and I'm never gonna not live my life because of how someone else thinks I should live it. And it's terrifying, man. It's terrifying. It's a scary concept to think about, but it's the realness of it all.
John, I would 100% agree with you on everything that you said. moving back was really hard.
Yeah.
Like for me, from Florida to here.
You feel like a loser. You're like, you feel like you're coming home with your tail tucked. You feel like you're defeated. You felt like it was supposed to be your calling. You were supposed to go there and make the money and get the things you wanted, and then just doesn't happen. And you come back and you're like, well, in your head you're going, everybody's going to ask why I came back. I have to tell them I failed.
Straight up. We bought a whole camper. It's still down there. We bought a camper to live in, to raise our family in, and that all just kind of crashed and burned. I went moving down there, trying to do some sales thing because I wanted to do sales again. Then got our CDL to get trucking, was over the road, and then she didn't want to do it anymore. So she moved to Cincinnati, and I was by myself. And I was like, I want to be closer to my daughter.
Right.
She's in Cincinnati. So I was like, I need to make a change. Like, there's something I need to do now. I think to not sum up, because I don't want to belittle your situation, but a huge thing that popped up in my head as you were speaking, especially that last part, was something I feel like I've tried to adopt the past 6 months to a year, was contemplate the price you pay for an action. Recognize what's going to happen if you don't move, if you don't act. And you have to be willing to pay that price. Everybody wants to think, oh, this is what's going to happen if I do change. This is the sacrifice that I'm going to make. This is how people are going to view me if I do change. What happens if you don't? What happens if you repeat the same 5 years as your previous 5 years? And that wasn't something I could live with. That wasn't something I feel like you could live with.
Well, and, I moved to Louisville. I get a job promotion. So I'm moving up. I'm doing what I set out to do, and it ends up not working out. And then turns out after I left anyways, they dissolved my position. So either way, I was not going to be a head coach anymore. I was just going to move on or revert back to just coaching, which whatever, that's a whole different story. But then I come back and everyone's like, oh, well, why are you back? I failed. And I have no shame in admitting that I tried and failed. And people are way too terrified of what other people think. I care. I don't value.
I think that is profound. You care, but you don't value.
I care. I don't value.
Other people's opinion of your life.
You can think of me whatever you want. I care about it. I want everyone to like me. I don't value it if you don't. Doesn't matter. It's not going to change how I move. Period. And so it's like, I come back, and there are people that I value if
take it with a grain of salt.
Right. There are people that when I had to tell them like I failed, they were also the ones that said, you didn't fail, you learned, which I did. So they grounded me. And I would say there were some people that, and I don't know this to be fact, I'm speculating, but I would say there were some I told you so people in there, If that's what you want to be, if you want to be an I told you so person your whole life, go for it. You're miserable. Like, how lucky you must be to live a life so easy that you can be happy for other people's downfall. And then I realized, like, well, I don't care if people know that I failed. Maybe somebody can learn something from it, And if they can, great.
Literally this.
Yeah. If they can't, reread the book. I don't know. I'm not supposed to be everyone's life coach. I'm not supposed to be everyone's, knight in shining armor story. But for somebody I might be. And so like the idea of failure, and I mean when I fought for that belt last year, I did a lot of convincing that I was the champion just to go out there and get choked out in the first round. and then having to show my face in front of everybody, and everybody, oh, where's your belt? Did you win? The man in the arena.
Yeah.
I failed. I tried and I failed. But with fighting, you can say athletics in general within reason. Like, you know, if a college football star loses a national championship, but another college football star criticizes him, they're on the same wavelength. That's valid criticism. But if a highly touted college football player loses a championship, and then some dude who played pee-wee football is like, well, I played football, so I have a right to say something. It's like, you don't. So like with fighting especially, it's like when you put it on the scale, it's like, if you've never fought, you cannot say anything to me negative in terms of, you know, this guy's a loser. You've never put yourself in arguably the scariest situation that you can knowingly put yourself into. The beauty of fighting is that there is so much unknown. You literally don't know what can happen. And with that fight specifically, oddly enough, in my head for the 3 months, 2 months, whatever I had the fight scheduled, I pictured myself getting knocked out. I pictured myself knocking him out. I pictured myself getting beaten 5 rounds. I pictured myself beating him in 5 rounds. The one thing that I never went through my head was the one scenario that happened. I know I'm making a lot of Avengers references, but like, it's when Doctor Strange was like, I've seen 14 million, you know, and this is the one that, like, that was it. And it bothered me so bad because, like, I'd finally gotten to, you know, I fought and then I quit and then I come back and I'm like on the cusp of being a champion, which is like the thing. Like, as a fighter, like, what's cooler than being a champion? Like, our ancestors and gladiators and warriors, like, when you were the champion, you were omnipotent. You were greater than, and I failed. And that was tough. But, I mean, it would be nice to say there were a lot of people that were, oh, I told you so, this, that. That's crazy. That's the roars of the crowd.
Yeah, someone hit a PR.
Good for them.
I assume, nice.
We'll play it. But, you know, it's like those guys you'll see on a podcast or whatever, and they're like, my teachers always said I would be a loser, and then look at me now. It's like, some of them probably, but like, your teachers probably never said you were going to be a loser. Like, I know it sounds cool for the story, so it's like, in my head, it's like, oh, it would be awesome if I had some real deal haters and then overcame it and had this in your face moment. But
everybody wants a hero's journey.
Oh, everybody. Especially us men, man.
The harder your upbringing, the better the story. So it's
the rose that grew from the concrete.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. It's wanting. I think it's a way of saying you want to be exceptional, but you don't want to be an exception.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want the hard life, but you want to be the person that stands out. And I think we go through that dichotomy back and forth throughout life of the need to individuate, to be the outcast, and the need to conform. Mm-hmm. And we keep teeter-tottering back and forth throughout our entire life. We want to fit in, but we also want to be the outcast for some reason.
You want to be the guy on the bus with your headphones in, looking out the bus window, you know, thinking, man, I'm going to be great someday, and then you become great. And it's just like, the fact of the matter is, and I mean, this seems like I'm being like rude, but I'm not. The fact of the matter is, not everyone's meant to be great. Period. Some people are meant to just cut the cardboard, cut it in a square, and live a good life. Be a good person. Be virtuous. Mm-hmm. Other people, they just got it. They're destined for greatness. They have ungodly talents that are God-given and that are specifically catered to them. They're given physical attributes that you cannot train for or get better at. They are given a stone cold, steel cut mindset that they cannot be broken no matter what. And they have the charisma to have people to support them when they don't need it.
Yep.
Now, I had a lot of those things. I'm a good athlete. I'm not incredibly athletic. I work really hard, so I make up a little bit on that front. I definitely don't have any God-given attributes. I have short arms, short legs, short torso, and small hands and small feet. Maybe I was meant to be a foxhole guy. I don't know. Broad shoulders, maybe not. But, you know, I had a great support system, and I had an unbroken mindset that whatever I wanted to do, I was going to do. And the people who, you know, you have two of them, but you don't have the other two. The people who have the other two and work hard, they're going to get it. And the hardest part for me was accepting that. It's like, have I done what I can do? Worked as hard as I could. Stayed away from alcohol and hanging out too much. Stayed away from doing harmful things that are going to put me in a position to where bad things can happen. All those things. I controlled what I could control. The other part, it wasn't on me.
You can only control what you can control.
I had a professor in college. He said, control the controllables.
That's it. And don't worry about anything else.
He was my sports psychology teacher. Control the controllables. That's what he had on the board. That was his stick. Control the controllables. That's, you know, to say I live by it. I mean, how cliche, but I mean,
I think everybody wants to be cliche, and even the things that I like to say, I only say them because they're impactful for me,
right.
And I can recite them decently accurate,
right.
Because they're impactful for me.
Right.
They're from having conversations like with you or with other people, from learning them firsthand. But they sound cool on paper, and they sound cool in video, but it's how they're applicable. How can you actually take it and see it in your life? Because I can talk. We can all talk. But like, what are you actually doing to back up the talk? It's the famous, which I'm just reciting another thing, but it's the famous say you don't shout, you don't gain confidence by shouting affirmations in the mirror.
Right.
You do it by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. You can talk all that talk, but what do you have? What proof do you have to back it up? To actually back it up?
Yep.
And I think that's what most people don't focus on. Most people.
Right.
They focus on trying to have the title before the evidence, as opposed to vice versa.
Bingo.
And everybody, like we said before, everybody wants to be great, but no one wants to do what's required to be great.
Yeah.
Everybody wants that mountaintop view, but doesn't want the climb.
And the climb is brutal, dude. You'll get halfway up and get kicked right back down. I mean, it's rough, and you know, it's like those quotes. You always envision it. It's in a cool edit on TikTok, and you know, the black and white, and it's flashing over your face.
Exactly what I post.
There's like lightning in the background. You know, those are the things you envision.
Yep.
And you know, and there's like this fine line between like someone like you've got the proof, so you can give these advices to people, and it doesn't look corny. The people who are just not anything, no part of them is what they're preaching. I'm like, bro, you're corny. Like, just be you. You're trying to be something that you're not, and it's obvious.
Yeah.
And authenticity, transparency, and realness are it's the three undeniables for me. Like, the minute I see through any of it, I'm like, I can be friendly to you. I cannot be your friend. I don't want you in my circle.
I don't think we can catch up in just one 30-minute or 1 hour long session. Like,
right.
These are things that, like, especially getting into the nitty gritty. I also want to know what you would say to someone that's debating leaving the fitness industry And then also thinking about starting it. With you being in it for the past 10 years, in fitness in general, but coaching for 5, what would you tell someone that's on both sides of the spectrum, wants to get into it, and then is thinking about getting out for the very similar reasons? What would you say?
So if you're thinking about getting into it, remember, think about the reasons why. If you want to get into it for money, pack your bags. Do not get into the fitness industry for money. It will break your heart. You will be hungry. You will run out of gas. You will be unfulfilled monetarily. If you are someone who fitness has given a lot to, and what we see a lot is fitness has given a lot to someone and then they want to give back. That works until it becomes the sole thing. So if you're a person who wants to get into fitness or wants to get into the next level, so you've undergone the transformation, you've made lifestyle changes, you now are living a happier, healthier life, and you're like, I love this, I want to give back. You have to know a couple things. Number one, not everyone's going to listen to you, and you cannot take that personally. Some people are so caught up in the world around them and there's so much information coming at them, and they themselves aren't the professionals, so they don't know how to decipher, real from fake. So think about and understand and have a plan for what you're going to do when someone doesn't listen to you. Are you going to take it personal and be like, well, screw that person, I'm done with them? Or are you going to continue to chip away one little piece at a time until you get through them? Are you willing to be patient with one person long enough to get them to understand what you're trying to say? Mm-hmm. 2, do you love the idea of being a trainer or a coach, or do you really want to be a trainer or a coach? Because it looks really fun. And there are a lot of, I would say the 80% of it is a lot of fun. The 20% of it, there's a lot of pain. You build people up, you see them leave, you see them destroy everything that you've helped them build. You lose the relationship, they move, you lose a friend. There's a ton of my clients that, I just don't see them anymore. I don't have that hour dedicated to them anymore. Are you willing to lose those relationships? Because everything's got a shelf life. Mm-hmm. People always have things going on. People are always making moves. Are you okay with feeling like it honestly feels like abandonment? Like, are you okay with people leaving? Maybe they want to pursue a different avenue than what you can coach them at. Are you okay with that? Can you be okay with that? If you're on the fence about getting out of fitness, like I was, well, it depends. So if you're on the fence about getting out of it, but you really want to stay, in the deepest parts of your heart, you really want to stay, think back to why you got into it. Was it because you loved helping people? Was it because you thought it was going to give you financial freedom? Was it because you love fitness and you felt like you wanted an opportunity to give back and also lead people to a happy, healthier life? Whatever it was, double down on that first. If it's for helping people and you have a class of 20 people and you feel like most classes you help 10 people, make it your goal to help 18 every time. Double down on helping people. See if that brings back the fire. If it doesn't, you probably need to assess and start finding a way out. Now, the problem with finding a way out, especially with someone like me, who it's all I've ever known, to me it felt like senior night at a football game. It's the last time you're putting on the pads. You know it's the last time you're putting on the pads. And you don't know what's coming next. And that's where I was. I knew it was the last time I was putting on the mic. I knew it was the last time I was giving a lobby intro. I knew it was the last time I was going to say all out or, give one of my motivational cues, be curious. What are you willing to do to get to where you're wanting to go? The magic is in the work you're avoiding, all of these things. I knew that it was going to be my last time, so I relished it. But there was no part of me that was like, man, I love that so much, I want to do it again. When I counted it down the last time, I was happy it was over.
You were ready for the next chapter.
I was ready for the next chapter. And so you have to be willing to rip the Band-Aid off, and you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. And that's like the one thing as a coach that I always preach, that I, at any given moment in life, always lived by. It was like, don't even try to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Just be uncomfortable. Don't try and cozy up to uncomfort to make it easier. Suffer. Let it suck. Because it's going to make the non-strenuous times that much sweeter. But also understand, it's not always going to be sweet. And it doesn't always have to be hard. You can find that baseline. Hello, what am I struggling to find personally right now? The baseline. I taste the sweetness. I get comfortable with it being sweet. It goes back to crap. I relish in the crap, and then I never get back to the medium, or I rarely find it. So it's like the things that I preach are the things that I'm actively going through. And as a coach and as a man, I'm not supposed to tell anybody that. I'm not allowed to be a human whenever I'm training someone or whenever I'm coaching them, because I'm supposed to be who they think I am. And that's what killed me in the end. I couldn't be. I didn't want to be anymore. I wanted to be allowed to be sad and be and not be okay. I wanted to be allowed to not be okay. And it was fitness in general is just one of those things. Like, as a coach, you're not allowed to not be okay when you're coaching, when you're training. And and it's not like somebody's holding a gun to your head like you can't be okay, but it's like these people are paying you for a service, and it's your duty to give them their money's worth. So on paper, like, no, you got to be that guy. You got to be that girl. And that was the part towards the end that I struggled with the most, and that I stayed quiet about. I didn't really talk to anybody about it, because it's not. I'm the textbook person of like, I'm not going to give others my burdens. I'm going to get through it. One thing about John Norman is I will always figure it out. I will always be okay. Might take me a minute. Might not, but it was just one of those things. Like, I got really tired of putting on the face, putting on the mask every single day. So if you're thinking about it, and I mean, the really honest answer is, if you're thinking about getting out of fitness, then you should probably just go.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Just rip the Band-Aid off. It's not a sin. It's not a sin. It was hard because I knew I was good at it, and I knew I was valued, and I knew that I was liked. And it's really cool to walk into the room and everyone thinks you're that guy. It's the best. There's no better feeling.
It's like you're taking a step down ego-wise too.
Yes. No, that's exactly there is no bigger ego boost than walking into a room of 30 people and they're like looking at you like, what's he gonna say? Like, I got 30 people locked in, ready to run through a wall. And now it's like I'm in this quiet environment, you know, everything like that. So it's like
Completely different space now.
completely different, yeah. And it's just, you know, it's like a relationship. If you're thinking about breaking up, you probably just need to break up.
Yep.
You know, at that point there is no saving it. And I tried, and I did. I I salvaged it for a long time, and I had these talks with myself, like, dude, look at what you do for a living. They're like, I'm not out here busting concrete 12 hours a day in the sun. Can't go to the bathroom without somebody on my back about what I'm doing. Dude, I get to hang out with awesome people. I get to work with awesome people. I get to meet people with incredible stories that come from incredible backgrounds, that do incredible things in the air condition, wearing sweatpants to work.
Yep.
I get to look good and lift weights and all this stuff. And it's just like, it's textbook, like, be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. And I had it, and it was just like, it's, you know, to me it felt like when Coach Cal left Kentucky.
Oh, God.
It was like, you know, I didn't want it to happen, but it needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just my time, and that's it. Through all of that, if, you know, whatever everyone hears, like, just know it was my time to go. It was nothing anybody did, nothing anybody said. I didn't hate where I worked. I didn't hate doing what I did. It was just time for me to move on and face a new challenge. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm adjusting pretty well, and I'm learning quick, and I like the people I work with, and I'm willing to do things I need to do to help them succeed. So, and, you know, the next step might just be the best thing. You might fail.
I think a huge thing I'm getting from you right now, because you make it sound so easy, so simple to just shift and change. But I think the fact that you did, I'm doing it again, John. I'm bringing up a quote, but it's, fear is a mile wide, but an inch deep.
Yeah.
Fear looks very scary. That next thing in life looks very, very scary. And it looks like you're going to drown in the unknown. When you put their toe in, you realize it's only an inch deep.
Yeah. We have this idea that failure is the only thing that can happen, but you might just succeed. Like, and the more you buy into the fact that you might just succeed, the better your chances of succeeding are. And that's the life lesson that fighting taught me. I would have all these anxieties about everything, and then I go in there and I knock a dude out with one punch. The first punch I threw, stone cold,
Got
KO.
like 1 minute. That's, God.
So,
John, I appreciate you. I really, really do.
if you're scared, if you're scared, just do it scared.
Do it scared.
Do it scared.
Oh, I like that. Do it scared. That's gonna be the title of this.
Do it
Do it,
scared.
bro. I appreciate you, bro.
For sure, bro.
Yes, sir.
It was a pleasure, man. It was
Yes,
good.